Hi everyone, welcome to the astrological love readings for the month of August. Just to let you know that the readings are going to be slightly different, only very slightly from now on, in that it will be a masculine and feminine on both sides for your astrological sign. Sun, moon, or rising, or whatever you want to check in terms of your own chart. So what does that mean, the masculine and the feminine? So yes, masculine, very often masculine represented by the male, feminine represented by the female. I will be using those terms. Very often, yes, that is how it's kind of represented. It's not always that simple though. Sometimes you might be female and the masculine energy might be working through you. Sometimes you might be male and the feminine energy is working through you. Essentially, it's not really assigned to gender or sexuality. So always use your intuition, always, with everything. What resonates with you is for you, what doesn't isn't. But I would also invite you to explore things that you don't feel are true. Just explore them, see how maybe they could feel true to you. But always go with what feels right to you in your heart and your intuition. Also, we are all masculine and feminine. So watch the reading and be interested into how the two energies are interplaying within you. You can watch the reading and kind of see how your masculine and your feminine is just playing out with you, and how's that interplaying in your relationships or your relationship with yourself. Don't get too kind of complex with it, but it really is just broaden. Sometimes it's helpful to just broaden the way we're looking at things and get the messages that way. But essentially, yes, very often it will be just, masculine is represented by a male, feminine represented by a female, and you can just kind of go down that road, but it's not always that simple. All right then, on with the readings. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Please subscribe if you haven't. Please share with people that you feel this would be helpful to. This is all about living love with one another and living in harmony. And do comment, and I appreciate your support. Lots and lots of love. And there will be a monthly general masculine and feminine reading and weekly general masculine and feminine readings available to buy on Vimeo. So that will be alongside these astrological masculine and feminine readings. Lots of love. On with the reading. Hi Aquarius. How's it going? Good to see you. I hope you had a really great July. And I'm really excited to see what messages are going to come out for you for August. There's been some fun stuff, for sure. So, bottom of the deck is the Judgment card, so it looks like there's some fun stuff for you too. Because this is all about your intuition, essentially, or that inner voice, that higher self. This is what this card really represents for me right now. This is your higher self, the you that has the most perspective, which I really think is speaking to us always through our intuition, through our heart, in the space that sometimes doesn't make sense, and it's that call is really loud for you this month, and there's a strong message there for you to just do what feels right and surrender as they are to that higher perspective. Essentially, it is divinity, what we want to call divinity. So that's there for the bottom of the deck. So for the feminine, we have the Three of Wands, the Queen of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, and the Four of Swords. For the masculine, we have the Death card, the Seven of Cups, the Hierophant, and the Hermit, and crowning the energy the masculine takes in, the energy the feminine brings in, and the Root we will turn later. As I said, bottom of the deck, the Judgment card, that's a bit of a theme. And we will take a look. So, feminine starts off with this Three of Wands, and this is waiting for your ships to come in, waiting for a message to be returned in some regard. What I'm getting is, don't wait for that message to come back, because there's a lot going on here. It is like waiting for it to come back from this masculine energy, it feels like. Let me just move this over a bit. It does feel like that. So it's basically that it feels like this feminine energy is really wanting something from this masculine energy, but he's got some really big stuff going on over here, and he maybe cannot give the feminine what she feels like she needs, because the masculine energy has this Death card. This is transformation, especially when this comes up alongside this Judgment card here. This is a really big message for big change. The end of things that don't work. It's endings and beginnings, and it really is a big transformation. It feels very big. It's really like a big change for him, letting go of who he thought he was and becoming more himself from this perspective. And it's a big deal, and to just let people get on with that when that's happening. But it's a big shift, it's a big change, it's a big shift and change in perspective in terms of his understanding of himself. It does throw him a little bit into a bit of disarray here with this Seven of Cups. So that's a little bit of a confusion about things and about life, but he is finding clarity with that. This card always comes before clarity. It's kind of like, we've got to really discern what we want out of life, who we are and what we want, and that's really what's going on with him. But it feels like the feminine over here, she really isn't, especially at the beginning up here, she really isn't into that at all. The Queen of Swords is you, Aquarius, as an air sign, but she's also the Queen of Separation. Just be a little bit aware, feminine, of being a little bit too logical about things, a little bit too cutthroat, a little bit too judgmental is the word, interestingly, that comes up. And the message is to maybe cultivate some more compassion, but you're not feeling very compassionate towards yourself, and therefore it's difficult to cultivate compassion towards another. And I feel like maybe you won't be able to see what's going on over here essentially because it feels like you're kind of really wanting to draw something into you and you don't get it, and then you feel a little bit as though you want to cut it off. But then it seems that you do get back on the same page again. I feel like, often, basically every time this death card comes up for me in a love or relationship reading, the message is always to leave them alone. This process is a process of enlightenment or awakening, or that it does feel like a big deal like that, and it's just a very complex thing. And no matter how much we care about people, it just kind of needs to be assimilated and gone through and worked out on one's own, and that feels kind of correct in that energy there. And so it makes sense that there's kind of this separation here, and there's nothing wrong with that. Whatever, if it feels like, she, whatever happens here with the feminine and the masculine, it feels like it's just meant to be that way. Well, as everything is. But it's working out. It's working out for the best. Because then it does shift into really being much more on the same page. Then suddenly the energy becomes way more together. I do feel like the masculine energy works out that he wants commitment, security, togetherness. The Hierophant often signifies marriage to me, and he wants to commit to something solid and pure and strong that he wants. And this is what the feminine wants too, because she has this 3 of Pentacles, and that's all about building something together, working together on something, creating something of huge value together as a team, and being noticed for that. There is something here about some kind of group, or it feels like spirituality. It feels like some kind of group space or group project that, it's not even group project, it feels like an energy of a group that is helpful, that they both want to be part of and they both want to work towards. Whether that's kind of emanating from this partnership or an existing thing or whatever, but it feels like a desire to, not even a desire to, it just feels like there's an energy of a group there. That's not a strong message for lots and lots of people. It's like kind of like 20% kind of message, so it might not resonate with lots. Essentially and most strongly, it really is about being together and creating something together and creating a structure as a pair. But there still is quite, on a general level for this reading, quite a lot of spending time apart. But it then kind of becomes agreed here. I feel like maybe there's not a lot of communication up here in this narrative and this story, but there's more communication down here because we're on the same kind of page, and maybe we have a discussion. Yes, we do want the same things. But right now, I really do need to spend time by myself, or I'm feeling like I need to just be with myself, with this Hermit card here for the masculine. And then a similar pause, rest, recuperation, look after yourself energy here for the feminine. So we then kind of get back on the same page. Don't forget this energy on the bottom of the deck here, the Judgment card, because that is going on for both, and it really is finding the clarity, being able to hear our own voice, to find our own voice, to feel our own connection, to our basically the easiest way to live the life that we want. I always kind of say that this higher self is a bit like an online map app, a map application. So, you can just kind of use it, or even a GPS. It just can see from higher up what's going on, and therefore it's much easier to navigate. It's a bit like going through life without a map, and going through life with a map. Just a higher perspective, literally, that you can see more of what's going on. But when we're used to not having a map, it can feel a bit strange. I mean, what we can call the ego is like the one that wants to just kind of do their own thing and not follow the map, I guess. We kind of get sucked into the illusion that we're in control, or I want to go down here and here and here, and it's kind of like, well, it's a lot easier if you just kind of look at the map and then kind of decide where you want to go, and then kind of know where you are and get there. It's actually really the path of least resistance to surrender to that version of you. But in the process of connecting up to that, that's what I was trying to say, is that it can feel a little bit disconcerting, because you are used to not having a map. I know that sounds a little bit convoluted, but hopefully that makes a little bit of sense, because that was the message that was coming through for that. Crowning is the Four of Pentacles. He's come up quite a bit in these readings for this month of August, so it must be quite a strong collective energy. And that is to... Basically, the big message that's coming through with this is you might be perceiving that your love is holding back from you. And in any moment that you perceive that they're holding back, you really are. And you may say, well, that's ridiculous. I'm giving and giving and giving and giving. But it depends what you're giving, you see. And the message is that you're really not giving the good stuff away. You're not really digging deep and being completely blah and open and out there with everything you have to give. And it feels like this is what is required of this, is that ability to kind of just go completely in with everything. Go all in. That's the message. Go all in. The energy the masculine brings in is the King of Swords. So that's interesting, and I love it. Whenever I get the King and Queen of a suit in a spread, it always indicates a very strong connection and partnership, divine connection. You are the King and Queen. And it's kind of turned up on the King's on the masculine side, the Queen's on the feminine side. And so this is a very strong indication that you are in a very powerful partnership here. Yeah, I mean, that's all that's really coming through for that. I feel like that's what that King of Swords is there to say. The energy that the feminine brings in is the Fool, which is wonderful. It counteracts this Queen here. So I feel like the feminine, she really does let go of this position that she was really holding on to, and decides to just go for it. And that is that message again with the Fool, is just to go for it. And she's going for it in every aspect of her life. This Fool card, the message that I keep getting for this Fool card at the moment is, it takes courage, yes, to walk to the edge of the cliff there. But that's all you really need to do. You do need to kind of get your affairs in order. You need to let go of the things that you don't need. You need to release all the baggage. You need to kind of let go of everything. The Fool here has nothing. he holds on to nothing, rather. And all one needs to do is just to get to the edge, stand to the edge of the cliff, and you will be guided and you will soar. Maybe it's just a little jump here. Maybe the next little rock for you to jump on is just down here. Maybe it's that you take a big leap and you fly. But the next step will become available to you. You will be guided. You will be stepping into the unknown and into new territory, but you will be and are utterly supported. So take that courage just to get to the edge. Don't worry about what happens over the edge. Just get to the edge. The energy at the base is the Two of Swords. So that's pretty interesting. In the middle of these two energies here, it does indicate a little bit of a stalemate. But it feels like it's just, this is just for August. You guys are solid. And don't forget that. You really are, you're a team. And I think half of this is really teaching you that you're a team no matter what it looks like. And that time apart is good for a team, for us to find our own strengths so that we can have a good pool of different skills and strengths to be able to then use together. Outcome card. The Six of Cups. So again, this is really indicative of a really strong soul connection here. This is soulmates. This is people coming back from the past. I feel like this is a kind of, twin flame soulmate connection, where unconditional love connection, I call it, where there can be a lot of kind of back and forth, a lot of separation and coming back together. In the way that we are with everybody that we love unconditionally, the way that we are with our relatives. I mean, how long do we really want to spend with our relatives before we feel like we need to get out and get away? It tends to be a theme in terms of people that we love the most. So don't judge it. If you want to judge it favourably. Don't make it wrong if there's ever kind of periods of separation where it feels like we should spend time apart, because they're always favourable. The conditions are always favourable. All right, then, I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. If you're interested in a personal reading, the details will be below. I will do a monthly general masculine, feminine reading for the general energies, and a weekly reading too, which is currently available to buy on Vimeo. And I hope you have an incredible August. Lots and lots of love. Do like, subscribe. If you haven't, share, let other people know if you think they would find this helpful. Comment, say hi, and lots of love, and I'll see you again very soon.